Welcome, everybody. We are so excited for everyone to join us today, this afternoon, for our 2025 Military Connected Student webinar. Today is February 26th, and we will be hosting this webinar from 1 to 2 p.m. Standard Central Time. For those of you who had joined in a little early, you were able to use the QR code to fill out the pre-webinar survey. For those of you who are joining us right now, Mr. Dobbins will be dropping the pre-webinar survey link into the chat so that you can complete that. It will only take you 1 or 2 minutes. It will provide us with some logistical information on where you're at, your ESC, your LEA, and also what you are expecting to be trained on during this webinar today and what you would hope to see in the future. All right, everybody. We are going to start off with introducing ourselves. We are excited to be able to present this training today. My name is Dr. Ann Lay. I joined TEA last April as a TECHY, Texas Education for Homeless Children and Youth Program Specialist, and now serve as the HMAR Program Specialist. I previously served in the school districts in the ESC 4 and 6 regions as a former interim director and assistant director for special education, a behavior discipline specialist, educational diagnostician, and low incidence self-contained special education teacher. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to my partner.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am John Dobbins. I'm also an HMAR program specialist. I did join TA this January, so it's my 2-month anniversary is coming up. Prior to TA, I did work in the education sector for 26 years. I've been a school principal of several campuses. I've also been a middle school math teacher. I've been an elementary special education teacher and a special education general education teacher. Prior to joining the education field, I was in the United States Army for 6 years. That's one reason why the Military Connected Student Program is so important to me. I also have 3 of my children that have either served or are currently served in the U.S. military.
And if you are military connected yourself, go ahead and drop an emoji, a heart or thumbs up. We would love to know where you are right now as well. So drop in the chat. All right, to kind of give you a preview of what we will be reviewing in this training today, we are going to be covering some PEAMS coding, also known as Military Student Identifier, provide you with some sample questionnaires that we found across some of the LEAs in Texas. We're also going to go over some data and reporting, such as the updated 2024 school year military students data, and also reviewing some of the changes we've seen over the years based on the school years 22, 23, and 24. We're also going to go over some frequently asked questions and best practices for LEAs and ESCs. And then we will be reviewing and discussing our upcoming Purple Star Campus Designation application process and resources that are newly developed, including the Purple Star Rise. And finally, we're going to be wrapping up with some resource and reminders and discussing some of the upcoming trainings as they relate to support and the impact for military connected students. Some logistical engagement and technical support. We do have some housekeeping items we would like to go over. We do have our Zoom's Q&A feature and chat feature available. We ask that you submit questions during the presentation into the Q&A function, and then any input, insights, feedback through the chat feature. Mr. Dobbins and I will also be using the chat function to drop links that are relevant to what we are discussing according to the slide into the chat function. If you do submit a question into the chat, it may get lost as the chat feature is has a little more traffic than the Q&A. So try to use the Q&A for questions. This training is being recorded at this time. The recording will be posted in the HMAR webinar webpage under Military Connected Student Programs. You will also be provided with a copy of the presentation in the PDF form in that webinar webpage. However, we are at this time unable to make the PowerPoint available in advance, and we thank you for your understanding. So our first section of our training will be PEIMS coding, and Mr. Dobbins will be reviewing this information.
Good afternoon again. With the adoption of Every Student Success Act 2015, military-connected students are recognized as a distinct subgroup of students using the military identifier. The military student identifier. For Texas, the military student identifier will be our PEIMS coding system. Federal law requires local education agencies, including public charter schools, to identify these students and report their academic performance on annual standardized tests, along with other highly mobile student subgroups. So, who are military connected students? To answer this question, we'll look into statute. Texas Education Code 25.006D defines a military connected students as a student enrolled in a school district or open enrollment charter school who is a dependent of current or former member of the United States military, the Texas National Guard, or Reserve Force of the United States military, or a member of a military or reserve force described in subdivision 1 who was killed on the line of duty. Students who meet the requirements of this definition are identified as military-connected students in our PEIMS data system. Let's discuss the PEIMS data table on the next slide. PEIMS includes 6 indicators or military identifier, which is your MSI or your military student identifier, codes to capture the identification of pre-K through 12th grade military-connected students. Descriptors 1 through 3 are for kindergarten through 12th grade dependents of active duty members or current members of the Texas National Guard or United States Reserve Force. Descriptor 4 is for pre-kindergarten dependents of active duty members of the United States Armed Force or those injured or killed while on active duty. Descriptor 6 is for kindergarten through 12th grade dependents of former members of the U.S. military, Texas National Guard, or reserve member. Descriptor 6 is for kindergarten through 12th grade dependents of military or reserve members who were killed in the line of duty. I will drop a link to this document in the chat. As mentioned earlier, local education agencies are required to capture MSI information. One of the questions we frequently receive are about MSI is how should we ask parents for this information? The short answer is there's no way to ask parents for this information, but it can be as simple as the graphic you see here on the screen. What additional information is needed in this example on the screen? And please place your response in the chat box and we will have a short discussion about this form. So looking at this form, there's a couple things missing that are really needed to accurately identify military connected students.
Oh, I'm seeing some great responses, Mr. Dobbins, in the chat.
I see several people, they have accurately said, I see someone, some are saying veterans or former military members. Correct, those are missing.
Yes,
Somebody got it. Pre-K, yes.
Yes.
Pre-K is missing. And also someone did mention individuals who were killed in the line of duty. Correct. This form, it's a good form, but it will not accurately capture every student. We are missing our veterans and individuals who are killed in line of duty and our pre-K students.
So just for a note for those who are unaware, there has been guidance that providing this is a simple way to ask those MSI questions in enrollment. However, this guidance is given on a very broad spectrum where across the United States, these would be sufficient. However, in the state of Texas, we have
Yes.
additional PEIMS code. That is why some of the information that you guys had highlighted, the pre-K, the veterans, the killed in the line of duty is not reflected because in Texas, we have additional codes that are not seen at a federal level. So great job, you guys. Way to really highlight what is missing from the national guidance.
On this slide, we have a sample questionnaire from Houston ISD. As you can see, there are 6 questions and the questions align to the previously discussed PEIMS code. Houston ISD collects these forms at the school. Then there's an additional step of contacting the parents to verify the accuracy of the data. We will drop a link to the Houston ISD form and additional sample of an e-form from McDade ISD in the chat. I'm dropping that now.
Mr. Dobbins, we have a question here. Is it required for someone to contact the parents to verify the accuracy of this data? And
That's a great question.
Yeah, and I would say that this is a local policy. It is dependent on what your policies and procedures are. Typically, school districts, whenever any form is filled out, a registrar or PEIMS personnel would reach out to parents to provide any clarifications or anything like that. But there is a question that we will be going over in the FAQ section that may help
Yes.
to provide more guidance on this. If your LEA is using similar forms and you would love to share a copy of that, please drop the link into the chat and then other attendees can see what is happening at other LEAs across the state of Texas and how you guys are capturing the MSI questions. All right.
So Texas is home to 15 active duty military installations and nearly 213 military connected students, ranking 2nd in the nation. We know from research that school-age military connected dependents will move 6 to 9 times during their K-12 years. This is 3 times the number of moves than the non-military connected peers. These multiple transitions can often lead to numerous academic, social, emotional, and other challenges for the students. We have recently updated our military student identifier infographic with the 2023-24 PEIMS data, which is from the 2024 fall snapshot. This is a useful resource for schools to assist them in understanding the requirements of identifying military connected students. And I will drop a link to this infographic into the chat. And this is a great infographic to take back to your campuses and share with your administration. And certainly, I do like to comment on certainly your registrar and your data clerk, anyone who is assisting with student registration, with the parents, anytime you get a new student, this is a great infographic for them to have on hand. Which brings us to our question and answer session.
All right, Mr. Dobbins, let's grab 1 or 2 questions and let's see if we can answer those.
I had a question. One of the questions was, why is there not a code for pre-K students of former military? So why is there not a code for former military members for pre-K? And the answer to that is it's a unique situation for your active duty military dependents and those that were injured in the line of duty or killed in the line of duty. The students do have access to pre-K. This is not extended at this time to former members.
Great.
Another person asked about the survey. Do we need to fill out the survey every year? And
So it also depends on how your local policies are set up. Typically, at the beginning of the year, there's an annual enrollment for all students. Really work with your policies to be able to incorporate questions that will be able to annually assess a situation where you can identify PEIMS coding. We have an identification at the beginning of the year and also at the end of the year when the students are coded out. So each year you have to identify now, are they going to qualify every year if they are a former member? Maybe it depends case by case. That's why a local policy will need to be put in place to assess those, just like when we assess our McKinney-Vento students, our foster care students, our special education students, all students really. But it's also important because a former member, a dependent of a former member could suddenly become a dependent of an active member if they are called back to the line of duty. Is that correct, Mr. Dobbins?
yes, it is. And we had a comment in the chat that said just that. They do it every year because in their area, students do go back and forth from active duty to reserve, or maybe they weren't in the military and joined the military. So the status of the individual can change. So I do believe it would be good practice to do this survey every year.
Awesome. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next section of our training. And we promise we will get to some more questions at our next pause to process. So if you've known me, you know that I love data. Any opportunity to see data, to analyze data, to report on data, you know, I'm on it. So here in this section, we're going to look at our military connected student data. Thanks to our PEIMS indicators or military identifiers that identify our military connected students, we are able to track the number of military connected students across the state of Texas. As Mr. Dobbins shared earlier, we have over 213,000 military connected students in pre-K to 12 public schools. This table here shows the number of military connected students by ESC region, and it's ranked by ESC areas in descending order. You can also see from this slide that we have military connected students in every education service center. So ESC 1 to ESC 20, we have military connected students. One thing I do like to note here is that some areas that do have a large military connected student population, such as ESC 4 Houston, is not near a large military installation. And so this is an important reason why we do create materials and training so that we can bring awareness and resources and support for our military connected students to all areas of the state, whether they are close to a military installation or not. In this graph here, you can see that ESC 20 has the largest population of military connected students. And then we have our ESC 3 who has the least identified in terms of military connected students. So on this next slide here, this is the same information that was on the previous slide, but just in a graphical form. So you can kind of just visually take a look and you can kind of see how each of those ESCs are compared to. And just like Mr. Dobbins had shared, this number is based on our 2024 October or fall snapshot. So this is for the most recent 23 to 24 school year data. So of course, we're going to try to update this each year so we have an accurate number to represent where our military connected students are across the state of Texas. What's also important is understanding changes in military connected students from one school year to the next. This is helpful for us to be able to make adjustments to services and supports that we do provide for our military connected students. So in this slide, you can see that the number of military connected students in school year 2023 versus school year 2024. So 2023 is going to be represented in blue. 2024 is represented in blue, and then 2023 is represented in the orange. So there was growth in the number of military connected students in most ESCs across the state. There was only one ESC, which is ESC 12, where we saw a decline in the number of military connected students. Under identification of military connected students can be addressed through a strengthened relationship with our partnership with ESC PEIMS coordinators. What you will also note from this slide here is how ESC 2 and ESC 16 are highlighted. Identification in these two regions have increased by double or more, meaning the number more than doubled from 23 school year to 24 school year. If we do, oh, I already see emojis, it must be from one of these two regions. If we do have attendees in the audience who are from ESC 2 or 16, we would really like, and who are willing to share some insight, we would like to see if there are any feedback to maybe that can account to why the number of military connected students have increased. Was there maybe a change in the way that they were identified? Was there a change in the coding procedures, or simply a population increase? Mr. Dobbins, do we have any feedback? And don't worry.
We don't have any just yet. I'm imagining that it's because our campuses did an amazing job improving our systems of collecting the data for our military connected students. That's my assumption. I think we've done a great job.
Absolutely. All areas, all LEAs are doing an amazing job in identification. And here's the reason why. We can see in this next slide right here, this table shows military connected students data depicting year-over-year growth from school year 2022 to 2023 to 2024. And as you can see from the table, the areas that have the largest percentage of growth are in the areas of PEIMS Code 5, which is veterans, and 6, fallen in the line of duty. This is likely due to the growth in the awareness of these two additional codes that were added to the PEIMS table after Texas Education Code 25.006 was amended in 2019 by Senate Bill 1557, which included these additional dependents to the definition of military connected students. Now, the left column aligns with PEIMS codes 1 to 6. And in looking at the total military connected student roll, which is the dark green roll at the very bottom, you can see the growth of military connected students across these 3 school years. And it's almost 20,000 increase each school year. And lastly, on our data portion, we want to project the previous data in graph form as well. But here we see the change over time in statewide PEIMS MSI depicted as percentage growth per PEIMS codes 1 to 6. So the definitions of each of those PEIMS codes can be found on the top right, as you can see here, with the blue, red, green, yellow, purple, and orange, with the numbers 1 through 6. And then it corresponds with the graph form. And as you can see on the purple one, significantly, that's the veterans. You see that increase across those 3 years. Now I could go on and on with data, but you know, only some of us like the data, right? And don't worry, you're going to get this information, and we are very excited to have additional information for our ESCs in later trainings. All right, Mr. Dobbins, we are to the next positive process section. Do we have any questions regarding the PEIMS data?
I'm looking right now. We had another question about providing evidence. What evidence do the parents need to provide? Again, that's a great question. We're about to go over that in one of the next slides.
All right.
Another question, we've had a couple of questions. Will this be recorded? is a question. And also we've had a couple of people ask if we're going to get the copy of the PowerPoint.
Absolutely. And yes, the answer is yes. The recording and a copy of the deck will be available shortly after the webinar. I promise you, I tried to process things as quickly as possible. So definitely a copy of this presentation will be available to you by tomorrow on the HMAR webinar webpage. And then the recording will be available by Monday of next week. If nothing goes wrong, which I don't anticipate. So yes, great questions. All right, Mr. Dobbins, I'm going to hand it over to you. The next portion of our webinar is our FAQs, and let's lead the way into that.
Thank you, Ann. On the next couple slides, I'm going to go over a couple of our frequently asked questions. I will be dropping resources as I go through these questions. On the first slide is, what are the benefits of identifying students as military connected? And on this, the answer is simple. School districts and open enrollment charter schools will be able to appropriately link military connected students and their families to resources and services, and also comply with the law. Another question is, what are a school's requirement for collecting military identified data? School districts and open enrollment charter schools must include the military student identifier questions codes 1 through 6 in their student enrollment process. Again, I'm placing these questions in the chat. Another frequently asked question is, does the parent or guardian need to provide proof of military status? This is a question that came up earlier. Great question. And verification of military status is not required for the purpose of the military student identifier. Verification may be required if a student has special programs with which they're eligible, with which there is an eligibility requirement, such as state-funded pre-K. Like we said earlier, active duty military does have access to pre-K, so does injured military members and members who died in the line of duty. School district open enrollment charter schools should not make copies of Department of Defense identification cards. That is critical. I know we make copies of our driver's license, but you should not be making a copy of a Department of Defense identification card. Another question is, how does the Military Connected Student Identifier and Public Education Information Management System, the PIEMS, differ from the Federal Impact Aid Survey? And that is, the MSI and the Federal Impact Survey are not connected in PIEMS. The Impact Aid law allows local school districts to apply for federal assistance if the district boundaries include federal land, including Indian land, that are otherwise exempt from taxes. And I'm going to copy and drop the link of the Impact Aid law in the chat. Some other frequency asked questions are, so what's next? We have a call to action for you. You need to talk to your school leaders about the federal and state law requirements for to collect data on military connected students for their MSI. And also, does every military connected student have an MSI code at your campus? If the parent selects the PIEMS code number 6, service member killed in action, does the campus have a process in place for counseling? This is critical. You have students that do have needs when they're military connected, but certainly an individual is military connected that has lost a parent due to military service. Which now brings us to, and we have our Purple Star campus.
All right. Before we go into Purple Star, we had a question, and I think Mr. Dobbins did answer it. Can we photocopy the DoD identification card? The answer is no. Do not make a copy of that card. Do we have any other questions, Mr. Dobbins?
I think that last slide answered quite a few of our questions as far as what the parents will need to provide as far as paperwork.
Awesome. All right. Okay, let's get into our next portion. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging in here with us. We had a lot of information, lots of data, lots of FAQs. We know you will have a lot of questions on this next portion of the webinar. We would like to lead with a reminder that we have a designated Purple Star Campus Designation Interest Meeting that's scheduled for next month, March 19th. Where we will dig deeper into the application process. I know we're going to make this reminder at the very end, but it is important for you to subscribe to our listserv. Had a question about where this registration link will be posted. The registration link for our Purple Star Interest Meeting has been posted to our webpage for quite some time during this school year. We also have sent out listserv announcement. So when you subscribe to our listserv, you will be kept up to date with everything and all things that are going out. So again, we're going to dig deeper at our interest meeting. Today, we will just be going over Purple Star Campus Designation at a very high level. All right. At a high level, Purple Star Campus Designation was created by the 86th Legislature in 2019. It recognizes campuses for demonstrating support and commitment to meeting the unique needs of military-connected students and their families. The TEA's Commissioners Rule 19 TAC 611063 was effective April 9th of 2020, which officially created the Purple Star Campus program for the 20 to 21 school year. Since then, TEA has awarded 5 years of Purple Star Campus designation, and the awards are annually each fall. So TEA encourages all public and open charter schools to apply to earn the Purple Star Campus designation. There are 4 major areas of the criteria to earn the Purple Star designation. Campus must designate a campus-based military liaison, and one of the roles for the liaison is to provide professional development for the staff as they relate to military-connected students. The second criteria is to maintain an easily accessible webpage for military-connected families. This can occur in a manner in which each campus that is applying has their own military-connected webpage, or if they are linking it to the district one, their campus webpage has to link directly to the military-connected family webpage of that district. Also, the campus must have a student-led campus transition program and must participate in at least one of 3 initiatives to support military-connected students and families, which include the resolution, also participation with military month of military child, which is in April, or month of military families, which is November. Or they must partner with an installation to have active duty members collaborate and participate in school activities such as field trips or seminars. Once designated, the designation will last 2 years. Campuses must reapply for the designation. And currently we have 692 Purple Star campuses, and this includes the 23 to 24 and also 24 to 25. So if you were awarded the 24-25 Purple Star Campus designation, go ahead and send us a little heart or thumbs up. Oh my goodness, look at all those. The 24-25 designees will not have to reapply until spring of 2026. Now, if you applied and were awarded in 23-24, you will be reapplying for that designation if you are interested in it this spring. And so Oh my goodness, Mr. Dobbins, look at all those emojis. I should see a lot of emojis because 24-25 designation, we had 542 campuses. That is a 202% increase from the 23-24. So that does account for all the emojis we are seeing, Mr. Dobbins. And what's interesting is even though we had a 202% increase, 72% of the awardees were earning the Purple Star for the very first time. And we will be dropping the link to the list of awardees for 24-25 and also the to the administrator address or a TAA that was released into the chat. And of course, I had to put in some data somewhere, right? So give me an emoji if you love this data. So this is a depiction, a breakdown of the 542 awarded campus. This table offers stakeholders an opportunity to see the breakdown by LEAs and ESC regions of those awarded. So as you can see, 542 awarded campuses. For example, let's take ESC 20 at the very bottom, ESC 20. Of the 542 total awarded, 219 of those campuses that were awarded were from Region 20, and they came from 15 of those LEAs. So 15 LEAs with an ESC 20 received the Purple Star campus designation, which accounts for 219 campuses. If we look at Region 1, they had 5 LEAs who were awarded the Purple Star campus designation, which accounts for 36 of those campuses. So all in all, in 24-25, 542 campuses received the Purple Star designation. And that was across 66 total LEAs in the state of Texas. So what now, right? So coming really soon, 25-26 Purple Star campus designation application window opens April 4th and will close June 6th. Don't forget to attend the spring interest meeting on March 19th from 1 to 2 p.m. Standard Central Time. This is whether you are new to applying or you are reapplying or simply interested in understanding the application process for maybe next year applying. There has been some changes to the application process, but they are good changes. And that's why it's important for you to attend if you plan to apply for this upcoming application window. We also are planning to schedule 2 office hours during the application window to assist applicants. And we are, it's going to be determined, but we are planning for one in mid-April and one in mid-May. Additionally, we have also developed an exemplar training to run through each application question and what we are looking for when we are scoring the application, reviewing those applications. The training will be scheduled soon, but in the meantime, we have a lot of new resources to inform and support you. One of these resources, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention on the right side of this slide here, you'll see information on our Purple Star campus webpage, and there's information here about how to apply. But what I wanted to focus on was that relevant tools and resource section that you see. Those are the resources that will help any campuses who are applying for Purple Star campus designation, but also just implementing Purple Star on your campus. So we are super excited to announce the release of Purple Star Rise TEA Learn course. This was released January 28th of 2025. And so this is new. This course was created to support Texas schools with the implementation of Purple Star. Whether your campus is new to Purple Star or has been a Purple Star designated campus for some time, the content, information, tools, resources, and guidance in the course will support the rise of Purple Star across Texas and beyond. We currently have over 41 enrolled learners. Give us an emoji if you have enrolled or taken the course. Our first enrolled learner was from Flower Bluff ISD. So if you're out there, kudos to you enrolling in the course at 1 a.m. Let us know how you thought the course went. And I'm going to go ahead and go over how to access it. Mr. Dobbins will be dropping some links in there, but really all in all, 2 ways you can access. You can go to TEA Learn homepage and simply type in Purple Star Rise, or you can just click on the direct link that Mr. Dobbins is dropping. And then you will see on step 1, you're going to click on Enroll, which is that blue Enroll button that you see on the first page. And after you click on Enroll, you have 2 choices. If you do not have a TEA Learn account, you will need to register as a new user. This is very quick and simple. It takes less than a minute. But if you do have a TEA Learn course, simply sign in. And then once you sign in, you click on Enroll in Course and you are ready to take that course. So just to provide an overview of it, Purple Star Rise is a 5-course module that walks participants through all aspects of Purple Star campus designation and the unique elements of supporting military-connected students. It will help LEAs in implementing effective Purple Star campus programs. We have resources, tools, videos, asynchronous professional development training modules that strengthens Purple Star in Texas. This course can be taken in one setting or broken out into individual settings, and it is very adaptable to the learner's needs. This course is free and is available to all learners within and outside the state of Texas. We say outside because we do have learners in different states that are interested in what we are doing in Texas. And so we do have learners from outside of Texas who are learning about our program. Once participants complete the course and receives at least 80% on their final quiz, they will receive a certificate of completion and 3 continuing professional education or CPE credits, which you can keep for your records. And for the 5 modules, if you notice, they do align to the criteria of Purple Star. So module 1 will provide that overview. Module 2, 3, 4, and 5 cover the 4 criterias: campus-based military liaison, the roles and responsibilities, the webpage for military family, the campus transition program, and then lastly, the military initiative. Then for each module, just breaking it down module by module, each content module was designed to build upon each other as information is presented to the learner. The format is aligned across the entire course, so it's consistent. You know exactly what to expect next. Each module opens up with an overview and objectives. Then you're presented with targeted content that's aligned to that module focus, whether it is our military liaison role or the campus transition and so forth. Then you have a wrap up in the form of a summary and key insights for that module, a short check for understanding just to make sure you got the gist of the module, and then additional vetted resources that are aligned to that module for in the event that you want to learn more about that module. What's unique to Purple Star Rise was the development and rollout of 10 unique tools to help LEAs and serve LEAs. And so you will also see those reflected on the Purple Star campus designation webpage that I had shown you earlier. At a high level, 3 of the 10 new resources specifically support LEAs in applying for Purple Star campus designation. So you have the application overview and checklist, which provides that Purple Star campus designation criteria, and a program checklist so that you can check off to make sure that you've covered every single thing. Application guide provides the key tips, resources, and reminders for successfully submitting your application. Application rubric, which is intended to inform candidates on how their application will be evaluated against these requirements. Now, more details on these resources will be provided at the interest meeting on March 19th, and Mr. Dobbins will be dropping the links to these 3 resources into the chat for you. In addition, two more resources we would like to highlight is the FAQs and the annual timeline. The FAQs were recently updated to take into consideration the changes to the guidance for this year's Purple Star Campus application process. It answers common questions you may have as you work on your application. The annual calendar and timeline recommendation provides key considerations and recommendations for the campus-based military liaison to guide monthly and annual planning for Purple Star campus designation. Again, more details on these resources and the remaining 5 resources that we did not cover in today's webinar will be provided at the interest meeting on March 19th. And again, Mr. Dobbins will be dropping the links to do these 2 resources into the chat for you. All right, Mr. Dobbins, before I proceed, do we have any questions regarding Purple Star application that we can address?
We do, Anne. Well, the first question I saw was, does it cost to apply for Purple Star?
It costs $0. It is free, and free.
Another question, which is a great thing. Another question is, when do they reapply? If they were a previous Purple Star campus, when should they reapply?
Great question. Okay, so the designation lasts for 2 years. And so you would reapply after those 2 years. So for example, if you received the Purple Star designation for the 24-25, which was this past fall, you will not need to reapply until spring of 2026. But if you receive the designation in 23-24, you will be applying, if you are still interested in the designation, this spring 2025. All right.
Another question. We had someone. So would you like another question, Anne, or you may
Sure.
wait on it?
No, go ahead.
Another question is, individual said, I'm not applying until next year. Can I participate in the webinar this year?
Absolutely. The interest meeting is open to anybody who's interested in learning about the process, about Purple Star. And it's not ever a bad thing if you want to participate in those interest meetings, because you can go ahead and pre-plan to consider possibly applying next school year. Now, we can't promise that there may not be tiny tweaks to the process for next school year, but the criteria is set in stone with the TEC. The format is pretty much the same. So it is very beneficial if you just want to participate in the interest meeting, just to know what's ahead in the event that your campus would like to apply in the future. Great questions.
And it's also a great way to start off next year. So you can be having activities, designating individuals, and collecting data all year long. That way you don't have to do it all in the spring.
Absolutely. All right. Okay. So we're going to move on a little bit. This is just as an FYI for all our military connected individuals here. One of the benefits of being a designated Purple Star campus is for the first time this year, we have developed a partnership with MSEC to be able to offer professional learning community series. Currently, right now, we have our 23-24 and 24-25 Purple Star designees who are participating in this professional learning, which started at the end of January. It's designed for school professionals and educators at campuses across Texas that have earned the Purple Star campus designation. Each series includes a PD training and then an office hour to discuss any questions or feedback from that training. Each PLC is unique and is a great way to tap into a network of peers and partners to support military connected students and be presented with research-based tools and resources to share best practices. Our first PLC was January 29th. We had 118 registered to attend, and we had 85 who participated. The feedback we received was very positive. We had breakout rooms so that people could network and discuss like ways that they can help each other and get ideas from each other from other Purple Star campus designated campuses to improve on their implementation moving forward. And Mr. Dobbins will be dropping a link to this flyer here, just if you are interested in seeing the information. Additionally, what's new this year was our unique Purple Star Campus listserv that we developed to include the 23-24 and 24-25 Purple Star awardees. We have and will continue to use this listserv to share out announcements related to Purple Star. Additionally, marketing and promotional announcements are going out via Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter X, and Mr. Dobbins will be dropping the links to those promotional pages into the chat. All right. I'm looking at the time, and I want to go ahead and just kind of skip through this pause the process and have some designated Q&A at the end to address any of those questions that we may have, if that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the wrap up section where Mr. Dobbins will lead us out.
Okay, so to wrap it up, we do have for you here our designated Education Service Center military liaisons, military champions. Every ESC, all 20, have somebody designated to give assistance to our districts and our campuses when we're working with military connected students. Here's their contact information. Reach out to them if you have any questions. A valuable resource that we have right now is strategies to support military connected students. I will drop a link to this in the chat. This course contains information designed to help Texas educators know about and meet the needs of students who are served by special education and are military connected. This will review the factors to consider when making decisions and increase awareness of resources and strategies to meet the academic and functional needs of students served by special education and who are also military connected. I took this course myself as a prior special education teacher. I found it very, very insightful. This is something you would probably you could do if you're a military liaison for your campus. It would be a great training to have for your teachers. Here are some additional resources that can assist you in supporting military connected students and their families. I will drop these in the chat box. We do have TA military family resources. We have MCECT, which is Military Child Education Coalition. There's a lot of great training, a wealth of knowledge on this site. I highly recommend it, as well as our Military Interstate Children's Compact Commission of the state of Texas. And again, I did drop those in the chat. We have Month of the Military Child. This is in April. We want you to purple up everybody on April 11th. That's the day TA is wanting every campus across the state of Texas to celebrate the Month of Military Child and purple up. And your local education agencies may choose a different day, and you may do the Month of Military Child all month long. So it's a great month. This is a great place to stop. I saw a question in the chat earlier about November being the Month of the Military Child. November, I did research that going through some of the applications for last year. I saw a lot of people that were placing information on for November. That is actually the Month of the Military Family, a great time to celebrate. You really want to honor your military family, so do celebrate in November, but April is the Month of the Military Child. We have a couple of save the dates. So MCEC does have a toolkit.
We were switching slides. Which one are we on? I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, we're on slide 47, Month of the Military Child. Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I skipped. I'm sorry. Let's go back to upcoming trainings. I did skip that one. Thank you, Ann.
Oh, okay.
I was too excited.
I know.
That there are some upcoming trainings and events. I will drop this in the chat. A couple of upcoming training and events are a Purple Star training. All are welcome. Again, as we noted earlier, even if you're just thinking about the process of becoming Purple Star campus, you can come and see what it's about. That way you can implement it next year. And that will be March the 19th. We do have our state advisory council on educational opportunities for military children. We also have our Purple Star campus professional learning community coming up. And again, as Ann mentioned earlier, this is for current Purple Star campus designees that have already earned the designation this year. So if you are a Purple Star campus, please join us in our professional learning community. And then I did skip, sorry, and I went straight for the month of the military child. I was excited. And then the next slide, we do have the MSEX month of the military child toolkit will be updated soon. I'll drop this resource and several other resources in the chat for you that you can use for the month of military child. And now Ann is going to talk to us.
Okay, so we're nearing the end of our webinar. I want to remind everybody that we do have a special project that we have been working on this entire school year. We really do need your help, though. We know there are lots of amazing things that are going on in your area, in your region, in your LEA. We want to be a part of that. We want to be able to know what's happening. And so please bookmark and submit any celebrations, events, achievements, so that we can highlight all these amazing things that are happening in Texas, all because of you. We have a lot so far on military. We've got foster care. We've got TECHI. And so really we have this whole bank of fall, and now we're asking for spring. So please, 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 if you have anything to share, please submit a story. I promise you I will include it into the final of the 24-25 year video reel that will be developed based on all of these submissions. We also started this at the end of 23-24 school year last year, but all of our submissions were very much related to TECHI. And so we ended up just modifying it a little bit. So if you're interested, we did develop those submissions into a 23-24 TECHI celebration across Texas. So this year, our goal is to broaden it out to incorporate all of HMAR programs. So Mr. Dobbins will be dropping the link to the submission, but also a link to the YouTube video of the last year's TECHI celebration video. And as mentioned before, and I know we got a few questions on the postings of registration links and things like that. To stay informed with all the things that are happening in our program, it is very important for you to be subscribed to the listserv. And I know sometimes you get a lot of emails and it just clogs up, your inbox and things like that. But we do send out announcements on important dates, important resources that we've rolled out, such as our Purple Star Interest Meeting. We've announced those out for the last month, and then upcoming opportunities, we've announced those through our listserv. Basically, we do use our listserv to keep all of our stakeholders informed, and you will also receive an announcement once this recording and this resource is available after this webinar. So if you haven't already, subscribe to our listserv. Mr. Dobbins will be dropping the link. Finally, if you do have technical assistance, requests, inquiries, questions, anything, this is our email address. We have our website, and also please complete this feedback survey. It helps us to improve on how and what we are presenting you, because we want to make sure that we are addressing your needs so that you can continue to support the military connected students to the best possible ability. And so this feedback survey is very helpful for us to adjust to where it's needed. And yes, and we are at the end of our webinar. We're going to hang back a few minutes to answer any questions, but I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And thank you so much for attending this hour training with us. We hope that it has been helpful, informative, and if there's anything that we can improve, please let us know.